How fast can you architect a GenAI app? Well, let's find out. I have this whole thing planned out, and I'm going to show you how to do this. It's really simple. Let's start here. This is a product specification for an app that I want to write. This may be something that you're interested in. In this case, I have a bunch of order database stuff going on in my Cassandra database. I have customers already using it. It's an app that was built a long time ago. This is like an e-commerce app. But as many meetings are probably being had, even in your place, hey, how do we do Gen AI with the data we got? This is a spec around that. How do we take our customer data, their order data, and give them a self-service aspect? Like chat with it. They can do some self-service, look at what's happened, that sort of thing. But all natural language. So chat, you type stuff in, it'll answer questions for you. And it's using the existing data that you have in Cassandra already. Check out this spec. It has a lot of stuff in here. This is pretty typical of what you can see. It's like, here's what we want it to do. Here's all the features. It has this like automated customer service, order history. Some of the technology is like, hey, we want to do it this way. This is so pie in the sky. It's like, we're going to use state-of-the-art AI. We are going to use state-of-the-art AI. But when you have this spec, this is cool. This is what everyone agrees. They're like, yeah, this is what we want. We want to have a user interface, and then here's the benefits, metrics. Now, the important thing on this is that it also goes through the existing tables for customer and purchase data. Now, you may have some of these in your database, but in this case, I just made this up, but this is pretty typical because I've built about 100 of these. And you have a customer table, you have the orders, and then you have the order items. And all of these have primary keys. They have columns that have data, denormalized data in it. Pretty typical Cassandra table. Now, I want to use that data for my chat application. Okay? So, how are we going to do that? We're going to use some AI to make some AI. If you've never done this before, I'm going to blow your mind. If you have, well, maybe not so much, but it's still really cool. I do this all the time now. So take a look at what I put at the top here. I'm going to use this product spec and I'm putting a prompt in the front. And for this prompt, I'm using ChatGPT. Now you can use anything you want. You can use Gemini, you can use Claude. It's not important. I think there's different levels of quality. This is why I'm using ChatGPT. I like using GPT-4 because it's pretty high quality when it comes to this kind of stuff. Claude 3 is pretty good right now too, as of, check the date stamp on the video, that day, right? So it will probably change pretty soon. So just always look for like what's the latest, what's good for this sort of thing, where you're looking for architecture, chat, code generation, that sort of thing. What I have here at the top, you are a generative AI consultant that helps company build applications. We're giving it a role. We're saying this is who you are, oh large language model, and it gives it some direction to move with. Okay. After that, we have, this is what I want you to do. I want to build an application in the text below. I would like your help on creating the architecture. We're using Python as a backend, React on the front end, in a chat window. Details on how to properly architect this application. This includes what LLM to use and how to integrate LangChain. So we're getting a little specific here, but we want some help on that. Here's a product specification. Boom. So what I'm going to do, super simple. I'm just going to copy the entire thing. And I'm taking it over to my old friend, ChatGPT. And if you don't use ChatGPT for this sort of thing, you are missing out. Remember, the whole point of generative AI, and this is what we're building for our customers, but what you should use it as well is to make you more lazy. It's okay to say that. We want to be more lazy because we don't have to work as hard to get more productivity. It should increase our productivity. And this is a great opportunity for us to increase our productivity with this particular application. So I'm going to move my bubble over here, and I'm going to take that message that I copied out of that doc. It's great to use a doc for something like this because then you can play with the prompt, you can add some details, that sort of thing. It's just a scratch pad, but I just copy the whole thing. Now I'm pasting the whole thing and I'm hitting go, and let's see what it comes up with. Now, of course, because this is ChatGPT, it's going to start off with like, oh, we're going to we're going to build this Acme product chat. It requires careful consideration. Thank you, ChatGPT. But it starts getting into it. It's like, hey, here's some options. Here's some things. Generative AI models. Like maybe you should, and of course, it's like, what you should use is GPT-4 because that's me, of course. And we could ask it different questions, but it's giving us a lot of details now. And the best part about this is that this isn't just the end. Of course, this is all very useful information, but we can start tweaking on this quite a bit. For instance, as when it's finished up and it throws out security and privacy considerations. This is all good stuff, right? And it's how you can start taking your product spec and building out an actual application. So I can ask a question like, what about using Sanic instead of Fast API? So I could ask that question. So it's like, sure, you want to do that? Go for it. Of course, it's not. I rarely find that ChatGPT is like, would you want to do that? I don't think so. We should probably play around with that. That'd be a fun thing to test out. But it gives you some advantages you can work through. Because this has all been trained on pretty recent data, most of the stuff that it's giving you is going to be pretty up to date. I think it was as of like last September or last October or something like that. So this is recent news and information. Thank you very much for ChatGPT doing this. What about specifics? I want to get API endpoints. I'm going to ask it, hey, how about some specific ones? And it's going to do it. Now, it's not the ones that I absolutely have to do. I don't have to go out and create these exact things, but these are a great way to springboard. I'm doing the brainstorming right now. I can continue, I can refine, I can even take it to other people and see what they think. Kind of a cool setup here because now it's getting a lot of my work done. I don't have to go and type any of this stuff. I can copy and paste it, edit it, modify it, do whatever I need to do. But I'm going to have some fun with this. What if we ask it to do something really stupid? I'm going to say, can we do this using Perl? And it's possible. Of course, it's really excited about using Perl. Okay, maybe that's a bad example. Point being is that if you want to do something stupid, ChatGPT is here to help you. But we want to weigh this out, and so maybe this is a better question to ask. And I'm just giving you some examples of how this should work. And I think this is a wonderful way to just sitting here, I've done this on my laptop a few times where I've dreamt up a couple of things, use ChatGPT to throw out some ideas, refine it, do some compare and contrast. And it's really been helpful, mostly to help refine my thinking. When I'm working through like an application idea or something that's a little, it's not fully formed in my head, this is a good place to go because if anything, it helps you refine what you're thinking and articulate what you want. Now, this is great because I said I want to use Perl and it totally supported me on this. So what? Perl or Python? I asked the question. I got a very detailed answer. But, think about this in terms of how you architect your applications in your environment, in your world, with your people. There's going to be those moments where somebody says, hey, I want to do it this way, and I want to do it that way. Maybe you have some folks who really like Rust, and you have some folks who like Go, and they're going to have at it. This is a good way to weigh those two things out. Hey, if you want to use Go or Rust, here's the pros and cons. Now, I use Python and Perl, and ChatGPT was very happy to tell me the difference and the contrasting and give me some ideas around that. Cool. But in your world, you may find this actually helpful because we don't just have these monolithics. Now, I know some of you only use Spring Java. Great. But what if you don't? There's going to be some band of developers that are only going to want to use Go, for instance. This is helpful. You can build out your documentation and architecture, and this should work. I hope this helps.